Welcome back to another episode of Athlete POV. We're sitting down with Anyssa Jones, new Dayton women's basketball player, recently from Ohio State. But we're excited to have her on, excited to hear what she has to say. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for having me on here.
Right, so right off the bat, I want to say just this past week, committed to Dayton, transferred. Not why, well, I guess why, but how did you come to the decision to go to Dayton?
So actually, I had my official visit last Friday. So I drove down there with my mom in the morning, and just being down there, it was like amazing. The campus was beautiful, the environment was amazing, and it helped that Coach Tamika was one of the assistants at Ohio State my freshman year. So I already had a huge relationship with her, an amazing individual on and off the court. So she definitely helped my decision a lot. And like I said, the environment was just amazing down there. It was just a beautiful place. So I loved it. I fell in love as soon as I was, over there.
Being from Ohio yourself, was Dayton and Ohio State really was your goal to stay sort of close to home? Like, how did that work for you?
Yeah, so when I remember first going through, the recruiting process, I did want to stay somewhere close to home. And I think a lot of my decision had to do with, you're first going into college. I don't think personally I was mentally ready to go for my first time in college. I didn't know how I was going to handle it. So I thought, it was smart for me to try to stay as close as possible. So when I was at Ohio State, it was always my top choice, but it definitely influenced my decision being closer to home. When it came to transferring, because now that I'm older and I'm more mature,
right.
Honestly, wherever, I was just worried that I just wanted to get picked up. I didn't care about who I was getting picked up by. If it was far from home, then so be it. But when not only close to home, but like I said, it was a beautiful, really good area. So, I kind of got best of both worlds. Because I'm super fan of Korean, so it's kind of cool to still be able to stay home.
Absolutely. And now backpedaling a little bit, let's talk about leading into Ohio State. Because obviously no one just gets lucky in, Ohio State basketball. Like, no one just walks on. Well, I guess there is walk-ons, but no one just gets the opportunity, right? Obviously some sort of hard work, dedication. You have to be special. Put it that way. Out of millions of, high school women's basketball players, right? What would you say are some of the main routine habits you've maybe developed throughout high school into college that you think really set you apart from the crowd?
I think just growing up, I've always been just a really hard worker. I think, so I first got my offer from state in the 8th grade. But I think once you get older and you start playing against really great competition,
right,
you start to, really your weakness out. So I always made it my goal to make sure I was working hard no matter what. I would, especially even as I got older, I'm working out 10 times more than before. But no, I always thought it was very important for me to just keep improving my game in all aspects. No matter what I was really good at, I would still work on it because, no one's perfect. There's always for improvement, so I just kind of kept that mindset. And I someone out there that's better than me and working just as hard or maybe harder than me, so do myself just make that peak performance. Now I still have a lot to work on, so I'm always making sure I'm in the gym, working out multiple times a day, whether that be working out early in the morning, then going to class, getting a break, working out again. I'm just always making sure I'm consistent with staying in the gym.
Right. So now, was being from in 8th grade getting an offer, right? That's not a normal circumstance, right? Am I wrong? It's not
no.
That's really rare, right? So getting that recognition and praise from college coaching staff in middle school. How does that not affect you in in terms of your work ethic? A lot of people in that scenario probably, oh wow, I got an offer and now I can take a step back. How does your mental state evolve after getting some sort of recognition so early on in your basketball career?
So I think when I picked up, so I did pick up a lot of my offers, not a lot. I picked up a few my 8th grade year, and one thing I realized, and also with help of my parents, is they can take that away at any moment. Just because they offer me doesn't mean that the offer will be there when it's time to commit. So there was never a point in time where I thought like, okay, I can relax, because it was like, no, in order for me to keep this offer, I work harder and make sure, like I said, I'm still improving. Because again, they could take it away at any moment, you know. And I will say there was a point in time where I was, you know, having that recognition that young, it is stressful. Like, you know, there's so much going in the back of your mind, like, you know, am I good enough? Like, especially like AAU came and, you know, those coaches recruiting me are sitting on the sideline watching, you know, me play. Like, there was like a stress aspect to it, because it was always like, oh, I perform at my best at every time. And reality is, because we're human, we're going to have bad games. So it was just, it was stressful, but there was never a point where I believed that, okay, I need to relax. There was always me like, I need to get better. I need to make sure I'm still playing at a higher level, and I can't let, you know, people surpass me. You know what I'm saying?
That definitely makes sense. Yeah. Every athlete always, like, at your level has that competitive side to them, that like never be satisfied where you are. There's always someone that is you working harder than you, like, you know. So it's always like in the back of your mind, like, I gotta keep going, like a cycle sort of. But another thing, your family dynamic. Your sister also plays in college, correct? What's it like having
is going to be college. She's a junior in high school right now.
Right. I was trying to build up to it, but I was trying to say, what's it like having like a family that's so like athletic and like-minded, that I'm guessing you guys like really work together probably sometimes too with stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So my parents did play basketball in college. We're just a family. We've like, even in high school, we were like multiple sport athletes. So there was never a point where we had like a break for a while, because it was like in high school. So like me and my sister were like basketball and volleyball. So it was like as soon as basketball season's over, it's now we're in volleyball, you know. And then my brother was like football, basketball, and baseball. My dad was baseball, basketball. My mom was volleyball, softball, and basketball. Or volleyball, softball, and basketball. So we're just like a competitive group, like. And like, it's always like we're always pushing each other. Like my dad's always making sure, like even at a young age, we were always in the gym, even though we didn't want to, because he knew it was going to pay off in the long run. Like he was always like making sure we're up, and he was going to the gym with us, working us out, and it's, you know. And now that we're older too, like we're making sure we push each other while we're in the gym, just to make it better. Especially like I want to make sure I'm pushing my sister and brother, because I know how it is at the collegiate level, and I just want them to be as successful as possible.
Right.
So every chance I get, I'm always putting them together.
Absolutely. So now you mentioned high school, multi-sport athlete. Myself, I played football in high school. My coach would always preach to me, hey, guys, if you guys can play multiple sports, do it. College coaches love that. They like the versatility. How could you speak more on like how the benefits of playing multiple sports in high school?
Yes, I think that playing multiple sports. So, like I said, I was volleyball and basketball, and a lot of things that I did in volleyball helped carry over in the basketball aspect. Like footwork, timing, jumping. It's like a lot of things that you do in your other sports really carry over and help with your main sport. And a lot of times when you're playing a lot of sports, you know, it kind of strength different muscles, and then a lot of times it can help with as far as like
comes first full circle.
Yes.
That's a problem.
So I think volleyball carried over to basketball, and like it helped me a lot. Like I said, with my timing, I know when I was younger, I need to work on my timing and playing, because I played volleyball from the 5th grade all the way up to my junior year of high school. Definitely helped me a lot of things that happen in basketball. So I think being a multi-sport athlete is definitely super beneficial.
Of course. And now let's talk about a little bit more on the other side of things. Academically, we found out that you're interested maybe in graphic design. Where does that come from, and what is all about graphic design to you?
So like I've always been like a creative person. So I have always been going like back and forth between graphic design. I was just, when I was down at Dayton, we were talking about MIS, which is managing information systems. So I think the main, I've always like, my dad's an IT. When he majored in MIS. I think it's technology. Like I said, I've always been creative too. Like drawing, I love drawing. So that's kind of where the graphic design aspect came in. But again, like I said, I've always been hands-on with like computers and stuff. Even like when I was younger, if like my parents or like my siblings or someone had a problem with like a computer, I'm always like one of the main ones trying to like, fix it or trying to think.
I can definitely relate to that. Yeah, I feel like our whole generation is just put in that like that like job to fix technology, especially like my parents or grandparents.
No, that's the truth though. Like I remember I was younger and I used to stay with my grandmother all the time, and there was this like really old computer that my dad used to use when he was younger. And I remember it was kind of like something was wrong with it. I don't remember exactly, but I remember like always, every time I went to visit my grandmother, I'm always up there trying to fix the computer to get it working. And at some point it started. And so I was always on.
And then you were the genius.
Exactly. So I don't know. I've always been like hands-on. So I think as far as career-wise, I just want something dealing with computers, like, you know, if that makes sense.
It's definitely a solid field of study that definitely is growing in. Either way, I think you'll be fine, because what connections, it's all about, not all about connections, but that's what I was going to say, but you'll definitely be set up well, I think, after you know, sports is over, whether it be after professional, after whatever you do, because eventually all sports comes to an end for everybody. So you got to have a plan, and obviously setting yourself up at a school like Dayton is can benefit you in the long run. All right, lighter subjects now. Let's talk about some food, right? So the team and I did research. We found out that you're Puerto Rican, correct? So what would be your favorite Puerto Rican dish?
Ooh, okay. I know a lot of times, so quite a few. Well, I'll name a couple. I know my grandmother and my mom love making pollo chow, with like almost like a soup type of thing,
right,
with rice and, you know. I really love empanadas, toton. Let me think. One more. Oh, on holiday, my grandmother pernil. It's like pork, like almost. It's hard to explain what it is.
I'm sure whatever it is, it's amazing. My family being Italian, my grandma also is the cook in the family, and she always makes like eggplant parm or chicken parm. You can't go wrong with grandma's cooking, right? Right? Yeah, so now that brings me to the next question. Puerto Rican food or American food? What do you think?
Puerto Rican.
Yeah. Staying on the food topic, you go to dinner with two people. Who are you going with? Where are you going?
Anybody?
Anybody.
Ooh. Okay. First off, I've always wanted to like be friends with or talk to like Zendaya.
Oh my God! Like, she's the kid MJ from the last podcast literally said Zendaya. Like.
No, I do. It just because she just seems like such a super nice person. Like, no, she just seems like super genuine. So I'm like, she's definitely one. And let me think. A second one. There's so many people. Is it like people that are alive like right now, or can it be like?
Let's stick to that. Yeah. Say it could happen. You know.
Yeah. Okay. So Zendaya and probably. Oh, I don't know.
Another role model of yours, maybe.
No, I'm trying to think. Maybe Sue Bird too. I'm really a fan too.
That's definitely a solid choice too. Like top of the line WNBA player. I'm sure you guys can connect
Yeah.
on some level, you know?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I have so many people, but I'm trying to think like top. Zendaya's definitely top one because I'm like, I've always wanted to
Top
be
one.
friends with her. But like, but that could be just like Rihanna, a lot.
All right, so where are we going?
Ooh, okay.
Big decision.
On favorite. Okay, I'm trying to think of my favorite restaurant because it is. We're in Ohio, Cheese Factory. That's my favorite restaurant.
You think that fits into their diet?
I don't know, but if it's in the
Fits into yours. You make the rules. All right, so going off this sheet here, we got a couple more things. You have some tattoos, I'm heard. What are some of the stories behind some of the ones you have?
Okay, I have three right. This. So I had my hand done. This one, there's nothing to it. It was. I remember. It was my freshman year, and I was sitting in my dorm room, and I was just on Instagram, and I saw a picture of like someone with this tattoo, and I was like it. But I was debating whether or not like should I get it, should I not? Because first off, like there's like no like it's like straight bump.
It hurts.
Yes, and I was just kind of thinking like down the line, how is that like like I know a lot of times, and plus tattoos are being like they're more normalized. Like a lot of people are getting them,
Absolutely.
but like as far as like if but I'm like there's nothing inappropriate about it. So I'm like, or whatever. I put on forearm. So through cry, but it's in Spanish. Oh, and I have it in Spanish, and then I have one on my spine that said, "Battles to." That's all.
Okay. There you go. I mean, it's good to have that.
I want one more on my leg, or like on my hip, kind of.
And what do you want that to be?
It's just gonna be like this. It's like flowers. It's hard to explain. It's just basically just flowers, though, like going down.
I gotcha. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Definitely shows like personality.
Yeah, my parents aren't fans of. So I'm like, we're gonna see how that goes.
Anyway, another thing. Which movie of Shrek is your favorite? We have to know.
You said of Shrek.
Yes. I don't know. Is that relevant to you at all? It was
No,
on the...
I do like. I love the first one. I think the first one is my favorite. I actually was watching that the other day.
That's funny.
Which is crazy. That's not like Shrek. How did you know?
Do some research. We have our team. They dig deep.
Yeah. I was like, I was just watching it the other day. But the first one.
All right. Cool. All right. Let's see. That might be it. You have anything else you want to add in here?
No, not that I think of. Favorite food, you guys got all my favorite food. Tattoos was actually a unique one. I'm kind of glad you brought that up.
Of course. All right, we'll wrap it up here. I thank you for your time. It was great having you on. Definitely got some insight about, the whole college thing, how you prepare, and like what we're looking forward to next year at Dayton. We wish you the best next year, and we can't wait to see you out there.
I thank you so much.
Of course. Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you.
All right.